The Eurofighter Typhoon is a 4.5 Gen jet that was designed to be the primary multi-role fighter for Europe's major nations, seeing service with Germany, Spain, Italy, Britain and many others. Featuring a delta wing with canard design, advanced avionics and a plethora of modern weapons, it can reach speeds of up to Mach 1.8. Today we'll be taking a look at its past, present and future, seeing what makes the Typhoon the fantastic fighter that it is today. The Typhoon can trace its roots back to a 1972 Royal Air Force requirement for a new short takeoff and vertical landing aircraft to replace the Harrier and Jaguar fleets. This requirement was dropped, but the desire for a new fighter remained, so later in the mid-1970s, the UK, France and West Germany began the European Combat Aircraft Programme, with France being particularly eager for the new fighter to have carrier capability. This caused a lot of internal problems, and vastly different prototypes led to the programme's cancellation a few years later. However, in 1981, Britain, Germany and Italy, who had previously worked together on the Panavia Tornado, came together to form the Agile Combat Aircraft Programme. Following the formation of this programme, although without funding from either Italy or West Germany, British Aerospace began work on prototyping the EAP. This jet aimed to be the basis for the future European fighter, and you can see how the design was adapted into the Typhoon. It had several components taken from the Panavia Tornado, including the engines, rear fuselage and vertical stabiliser. The EAP featured an upgraded cockpit with CRT multifunction displays and an advanced heads-up display. One of the main pioneering technologies of the EAP was its fly-by-wire system. This is where the flight controls aren't physically connected to any of the control surfaces, rather sending all commands to a computer that then operates the control surfaces. The advantage being that you can make your aircraft aerodynamically unstable, which allows for far greater manoeuvrability while the computer keeps the plane under control. Having this system also allows for fast responses to any input and can be operated far more effortlessly than traditional hydraulic or cable-operated control surfaces, which tend to become harder to use at higher speeds. Fly-by-wire had been experimented with before on European aircraft, primarily on the Sepacat Jaguar active control technology, a modified version of the Jaguar that made it aerodynamically unstable, then replaced the old avionics with the new fly-by-wire system. The lessons learned from the ACT then went on to inform the avionics for the EAP, and then later the Typhoon. After the EAP was commissioned in 1983, West Germany and Spain joined the three partner nations to create the future European Fighter Aircraft Programme, and reiterated the need for BVR and STOL capabilities. However, France was still hardline on the European fighter needing carrier capability, something which the other nations in the programme didn't feel the need for, so France split off from FIFA and contracted Dassault, creators of the Mirage family, to build their own indigenous fighter. This resulted in the Raphael, which is famous for launching a pensioner into low Earth orbit, amongst other things aren't as important. I'll make a video on this plane someday and all the shenanigans that came along with it. But now with Britain, Germany, Spain and Italy forming Eurofighter, work began on turning the EAP demonstrator into a brand new aircraft designated. The first Typhoon took flight in 1994, officially entering service with the Royal Air Force in 2003, and then later the Luftwaffe, Italian Air Force and the Spanish Air and Space Force. I'll mainly be focusing on the RAF in this video, as going over every deployment of the Typhoon would take far too long. But outside the nations that developed it, the Typhoon was also exported to Austria, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar and Oman. What can the Typhoon actually do? Let's take a brief look at its weapons. The Typhoon was designed to be a multi-role aircraft, and to achieve this it has 13 hardpoints that can take a range of both air-to-air and air-to-ground munitions. Provisions had been made for the Typhoon to carry existing NATO missiles, including the Sidewinder, Sparrow and the semi-recently developed AMRAAM. Soon enough though, Europe wanted to arm the fighter with newer missiles developed specifically for their planes. In other countries, the IRIS-T, which is not to be confused with the IRS-T which the Typhoon also has, replaced the AIM-9. In the UK, the Typhoon's Fox 2 missile is the ASRAAM, an IR missile capable of pulling up to 50G despite lacking thrust vectoring of the AIM-9X and R-73 missiles, which are very similar. In 2021, this missile was used to shoot down an unidentified drone in Syria, scoring the Typhoon its first air-to-air kill. For radar-guided missiles, the Typhoon uses the Euroradar Captor, a pulse Doppler radar that is capable of tracking multiple targets at once, assisted by the Pirate IRS-T sensor mounted near the front of the cockpit. This radar is used to guide one of two Fox 3 missiles, the American AIM-120 AMRAAM and then later the Meteor, which allegedly has a range nearly twice that of the AMRAAM. These missiles are usually mounted onto the fuselage. In a ground strike configuration, the Typhoon can also carry both dumb bombs and guided munitions, such as the Paveway family of LGBs, Brimstone ATGM and Storm Shadow cruise missile. To help guide these weapons, the Typhoon can make use of a variety of laser targeting pods, including the LDP Lightning, Sniper and Damocles. Given this is a fairly recent 4.5 Gen fighter, the Typhoon is expected to see service well into the late 21st century, with update packages and new weapon systems keeping it relevant. The Tranche 1 Eurofighters are expected to be fully removed from service with the RAF by 2025, leaving just over 100 in service with varying squadrons in the Royal Air Force, including number 3 and number 11 at Coningsby and number 1 at Lossiemouth. The RAF operates the Tranche 2 and 3 models, including their 2-seater trainer variants. The current Tranche 4 and onward aircraft hope to make use of better data links and jamming capabilities. Thank you for listening to my 5-minute overview of the Typhoon. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a comment and a like. And if I've said anything that's wrong or you have ideas for other vehicles for me to cover in the future, do tell me. This channel's going to be a place for me to talk about military vehicles that I find interesting and to improve my documentary making skills, so if that sounds like a good plan to you, then subscribe. And I should have a few more videos up over the summer, just before university starts over again. Before I go, I have to mention this hideous Brexit plane that's used as an aerial display example. And I think that the D-Day inspired livery is far better looking, and I hope I never see the Brexit one. That'll be awful. Anyway, safe flight, see ya.